What is going on, YouTube? And welcome back to my channel, JoJo Speaks. Thank you all so much for joining myself and Dustin for this being our review for 90 Day Fiance before the 90 Days, Season 8, Episode 15. Oh, I'm so glad you guys decided to join us for this review. Let's get to it. First off, before we get started, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Press that big white subscribe button. It is free and easy to do. Takes less than a second to mash that thing. So go ahead and mash it for a brother. Be sure to leave a thumbs up for this video. Let me know you're enjoying the content I'm putting out on my channel. Also, be sure to to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the various couples we're discussing on tonight's review. Also, be sure to press the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. And last but not least, be sure to share JoJo Speaks with all your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody know JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTube streets. Couple of announcements. Be sure to be on the lookout for my reviews on Married to Medicine Reunion Part 1, as well as RuPaul's Drag Race, the Makeover Challenge tomorrow. I will be releasing those videos tomorrow. Absolutely. I might do it the same way I did last week, where I do Married to Medicine on Tuesday and RuPaul's Drag Race on Wednesday. I'm not sure, but you know, those two videos will definitely be out before Thursday. So be on the lookout for those two videos. Dustin, how you doing today?
I'm doing okay. Just glad to be here.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you're.
I'm just doing it on my phone because I'm doing it on my phone. So just bear with me.
Absolutely, definitely will. We got Lady Virgo in the building saying good evening, everyone. Good evening, Lady Virgo. So glad that you decided to join us. Lady Virgo also says to JoJo Speaks, Dustin Butler, hey, good evening and happy Monday to you all. Happy Monday to you as well, Lady Virgo. And then we have HR in the building, Auntie Robin saying, well. Howdy, Lady Virgo. Dustin Butler and JoJo Speaks. Howdy to you.
Howdy, Robin.
Cowgirl,
How you doing, Robin?
Auntie Robin. So glad that
Hope you're feeling better.
Absolutely. Hope you're feeling better as well. So let's start off this review with Trisha and Rick. They didn't really do much this episode besides the fact that Trisha had a really, really deep conversation with her father. Her father's not thinking that. I think Trisha's father sees and understands that if a man wants a child, he's going to say yes to the question of, do you want children? And anyone who's kind of on the fence with that question is probably leaning towards they don't want children, because that is a very, very life-changing decision to make. And, Trisha's like, well, if he says that he doesn't want a child and I still love him, will you make me choose between you and him? And Trisha's father says, yes, I will force you to choose between myself and Rick. And
I don't like that.
I don't like that either. However, we do have to consider that she lives in and was born and raised in Madagascar. They have different traditions and different cultures. And, that's part of their culture that, the women have babies and that's how they stay connected with their family. So although we may not agree with it as Americans, we have to understand that it's probably part of their culture that, that she had children, especially if she's married and in a relationship with someone. But again, I don't agree with it either, Dustin. I don't think that that's fair to Trisha, because I really do truly believe that Trisha is madly in love with Rick and she wants to have a meaningful relationship with him. And the thing is, if Trisha ends up in America, she really won't have much communication with her family. Although she doesn't want to be excommunicated from her family, she still wants to have that bond with them. But it is what it is. And we see in the preview for the next episode that Trisha's father, he actually told Trisha during their conversation that before he goes back to America, he's going to want an answer from him. That's probably not going to go too well. It's probably not going to go too well at all. We saw that Trisha's father was raising his voice at Rick, and so it's just not looking too good for Rick and Trisha. But we'll see as time goes on. Lady Virgo says hi to Auntie Robin.
Hi, Auntie Robin.
And then Auntie Robin says down in the comments, I did not like Trisha's father's stance. I didn't like it either, Auntie Robin. I think that beyond culture, she gives me the impression that she wants kids. Her dad is giving her an off ramp. Oh, okay. Let me read that again. She gives me the impression that she wants kids. Yeah, she does give me the impression that she wants kids, and I do think that she wants kids, but I don't think that it's as serious as it is for Trisha's father. But we'll see what happens as time goes on. Lady Virgo says down in the comments, Auntie Robin, hi Auntie Robin, and happy Monday to Auntie Robin.
Happy Monday to everyone. Thank you for
Excuse
being here.
me as well. And then Auntie Robin has one other comment, and then we'll get to how Dustin feels. Auntie Robin also says down in the comments, no, no, I did like his stance. Oh, yes, you did like his stance. Oh, okay. All right. So you do
Uh-oh.
agree with here's the thing, I'm still up in the air as far as Rick's
Oh,
sexuality is concerned, and so it's just very murky waters. I'm surprised, Auntie Robin, that you did
agree.
like his
Mhm.
stance. Me personally,
So,
I feel as though parents should not be forcing their children to make decisions for themselves based on their beliefs. I think you should allow your children to make their own decisions for their own lives because it's your children's life. They have to make their own decisions. And especially with Trisha being a grown ass woman,
uh,
Trisha is, how old is Trisha? Trisha's 25 years old. Trisha is 25 years old. So she's good and grown and able to make decisions on her own. And, again, I understand with as far as culture is concerned that, certain things have to go a certain way. But at the same time, I don't feel it's fair for Trisha's father to be trying to force her into having children when,
I don't either.
I mean, yes, she does want them. I get that. It really is more on Rick at this point. But I didn't like the way that he came at his daughter in that way. Auntie Robin says, because Trisha is young, Rick don't want kids. The dad is just giving her a way out. I understand now. I don't think that Trisha's father wants her to be with Rick because
I
he's
don't either.
52 years old, because he's been married, because he has been married and divorced, because he has 5 kids. Rick and Trisha's father are mainly actually almost the same age. So I get what you mean by that, Auntie Robin. Now that
So,
because Rick doesn't want kids, that's the easy way for her to say, okay, well, this relationship is over. Dustin, what did you think of Trisha's father's conversation with Trisha? And how do you think things are going to go in the next episode when he
uh,
confronts Rick about wanting kids?
I think that pretty much done for, in my opinion.
Mm.
I think the relationship is pretty much at the end of it. I think that she wants a kid, so no matter what happens, it's all gonna been down to her as well. So I don't know what's gonna happen between now and then. But if you depends on what they it depends on what she wants. If she wants to be with Rick, I hope it goes well for her. But I don't think it's gonna last. The whole season hasn't felt like this. I felt like this. We're building up this whole season to this point here, and here we are. I don't think it's gonna last at all at this point.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't want Trish to change her opinion on whether she wants to have kids or not because she wants to stay with Rick. Because as her father said, she's going to have to choose. And so I think it will, Trisha, at the end of the day, I feel as though Trisha will be better off just by leaving Rick. First of all, because I don't know if he's actually romantically, attracted to her. Maybe he is. Who knows? They seem to have sex quite often, so it's possible that there's a good possibility that Rick is bisexual. But on top of that, the fact that he does not want kids, and Trisha really does want kids, and I don't think it's just because of her culture and because of her father. I think she truly does desire to have children of her own. And if Rick is not willing to give her that, then she should leave him. Although she does love him, I get that. But when you're in relationships, sometimes you have to make hard decisions, and you have to look at, sort of kind of decide what means more to you, being in love or having kids. It's like you can be in love and have kids with someone else, but if you stay with the Rick, then you're giving up one of your possible lifelong dreams. So it is what it is as far as Trisha and Rick are concerned. Personally, I hope that they do break up just so that Trisha will be more
Can you hear me?
fulfilled. Yes, yeah, I can hear you just fine, Dustin. So let's move on to Aviva and Stig. So
Okay.
Aviva and Stig, they seem to be on good terms right now. Aviva, they're making corn tortillas. Stig planned this whole thing for himself and Aviva. And while they're eating, Aviva is eating, and Stig is like, "Oh, you're having, you're having pregnancy cravings." I don't know if that's the correct terminology for it, but
Craving. Yeah.
yeah, cravings, due to pregnancy. And she's like, "I'm not sure." And then he asked her, "So, when are you supposed to be on your period?" She says, "I'm supposed to be on it now, but I'm not on it at this point." And so Stig asked her, "Do you want to get a pregnancy test?" And Aviva's like, "Yeah, sure, we can go ahead and do it." And then Aviva asked Stig, "How would you feel if I ended up being pregnant?" And Stig's response wasn't a bad one, but Stig tells us in the confessionals that he doesn't necessarily want her to be pregnant at this point. But then Aviva tells us in the confessionals that she and Stig discussed her getting pregnant, and it seems as though Aviva came over to where are they at to Belize just
Belize.
to get pregnant. It seems like she came over just to get pregnant. She also said that she did want to be proposed to before she goes home as well. I kind of doubt that that's going to be the case because Stig did tell Aviva on this episode that he loved her for the first time. So saying you love someone and then proposing to them a couple days later, because I think Aviva only has a couple days left on her trip to Belize.
Two
So
days.
yeah, so telling
Mhm.
someone that you love them and then proposing to them days later, that would be, not something that I would see as a green flag at all, as far as that's concerned. Auntie Robin says down here in the comments, Aviva is a bit of a bird. She definitely is. She's more than a bit of a bird, Auntie Robin. How old is she? I'll tell you a little bit later, Auntie Robin. What does she do for a living? I'm not sure. Who believes that he loves her? I do think that Stig wants to be with her. I do think that he loves her. I don't think that he cares about her nearly as much as Aviva may want him to care about her, but I do think that Stig does care about her. I don't know if he sees her as wifey material necessarily, because for me, if you're going to be in a relationship with someone who has fans, someone who's in the music industry, someone who's going to be around a lot of women all the time, you've got to have your jealousy in check. And Aviva's jealousy is not in check,
Never
especially
has been.
with that random woman who just so happened to be on stage with Stig while he was performing, just holding up her phone. And she was, kind of seeing that as him flirting with her or dancing with her when he was doing nothing of the sort. So, as far as I'm concerned, I want Aviva and Stig to break up. Me personally, I don't think that they're right together. I think that Aviva has a little bit more maturing to do. Just going
Mm.
over to Belize just to get pregnant when he hasn't even told her that he loved her yet, and she wants to be impregnated by this man. Makes zero sense to me whatsoever. And then Auntie Robin's last sentence was, "Do you think that she is in love with Stig?" That's the thing. And Aviva is
I don't.
26. Aviva is 26 years old, Auntie Robin.
Mm-mm.
Aviva is 26 years old, and Stig is 30 years old. Um, I can't really put my finger on why Aviva is with Stig. I don't understand why she is with him. So I honestly can't answer that question. And I have a feeling that she might be with him just for the clout, just to say that she's in a relationship with a famous music star from Belize. I think that maybe she's just doing it just so, maybe she can gain some popularity, or maybe she just did it to get on the show. I have no idea. Auntie Robin says
Mhm.
down in the comments, I think they need to break up. I think so too. I think they need to break up too.
So,
She's been reading too many of these of those young romance novels. Yes, she does seem to be like a hopeless romantic in a way, but she doesn't seem to be serious. And it seems like Stig wants to get serious, and I don't know if Aviva is at that point yet. Dustin, what are your thoughts
mm,
on Aviva's desire to be pregnant by Stig? Although he just literally told her that he loves her, do you think Stig is going to propose to her before the end of the season? What are your thoughts altogether on Stig and Aviva?
I like Stick better than I do Aviva.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he deserves better. I've been feeling this way since episode one, and I don't think it's going to change. I don't think that. I think that I side with him more not to do with Aviva, Jonathan. And I don't really like Aviva. And I don't think that she's gonna get what she wants out of this season. I think this season is going to end with her having a broken heart, and I hope that I hope that they are no longer together when the season is over with. I don't think that I don't think she moves too fast for him.
Right.
That's just one thing. She moves way too fast for his pace, and I don't think that he deserves. I think that he deserves better from somebody else, and that's just my opinion. I think that if he wants to do whatever he wants to do, he's way young. He's way younger than she is, in my opinion. So if he wants to do whatever she wants to do and go find somebody else, go ahead. Because I don't think it's gonna last.
Yeah, Aviva's actually Stig is
Mm.
actually older than Aviva. He's 5 years older. Aviva's
Oh,
25 and Stig is 30.
well,
But she does
my
but
mistake. I apologize about that.
it's okay. It's completely fine. But Aviva's age is showing like she's acting a little bit immature, at least in my opinion. But I hope that Aviva's not pregnant. I'm not sure if she is or not, but a lot of times when
Hmm.
these type of pregnancy scares, quotation marks, pregnancy scares come along, a lot of
Like
times
I
the person
said,
ends up not being pregnant. So I hope that
uh,
she's not pregnant, but we'll see
mm-mm.
when it comes to the next episode. Let's move on to Elise and Joshua. So,
Oh my god.
uh-oh.
Oh my god.
So right.
See.
So Elise is panicking as soon as we see her. Joshua has left. He went to he went out somewhere, and Aviva does, and Elise doesn't know where he went. And now she's thinking that he's probably at he's probably with the woman that he's living with. I'm not sure why Elise is taking this approach to her relationship,
Mm.
and she's going to push him away. Now, I've liked Elise ever since I saw her on Hump for Love. I've really liked Elise, but I think Elise is starting to show who she truly is, at least on 90 Day Fiance. I don't know if this is how she is in a regular life, but Elise, her jealousy is on 10. And for Elise to be as beautiful as she is, to be as jealous as she is, makes zero sense to me whatsoever. Joshua actually comes back into the room while she's crying. He
Mm.
leaves the room immediately, and Elise goes after him and says, "What? Why did you walk out of the room?" And he said, "Well, I saw that you were upset, and so I didn't want to bother you." And she said, she was a little bit upset about him not consoling her. I guess she wanted him to console her, ask her, "What's wrong, baby? Let me do something to try to fix it or make you feel better," whatever the case might be. Okay, yeah, I get it, I guess. But then they go out to the beach. They take a surfing lesson. And then Elise later has a conversation with her parents on FaceTime. And she tells them the information that she just learned about him living with another woman. And, that's really the
Mm.
only thing that she didn't know about him. She doesn't really know too much about his finances. Of course, he's on his last straw at his job, he's on his final warning at his job. So I understand her trepidation concerning that particular situation.
I
However,
do too.
I'm starting to see that Elise is coming into her 90 Day Fiance bag, whereas she's creating drama for zero reason whatsoever. I don't think Joshua has any type of romantic attraction to his roommate whatsoever. Like, if you compare Elise to his roommate, like Elise has got the upper hand in every category, at least in my opinion, maybe not financially, but in every other look category and possibly personality category as well. I don't
Mm.
think Elise has anything to worry about as far as Joshua's fidelity is
I
concerned.
don't
So
either. I
I,
don't
I'm
either.
I'm I feel as though she's bringing up these issues just for camera's sake, just for the TV show. Because to me, it's Joshua seems to be a very trustworthy person. Like I've said in previous reviews, I'd be more concerned about Joshua having a relationship with Chris more than I think he'd have a relationship with the woman that he's living with. But that's just me. Auntie Robin says down here in the comments, I want to know how Elise first love died. Yeah, I want to know. I would like to know that too. She said that it had something to do with an issue that he was dealing with that he did not tell her about. I have a feeling it might have something to do with substance abuse. Um, could have been cancer. I'm not sure, but my My intuition is telling me, Auntie Robin, that it probably was substance abuse. That's what I'm thinking. But that's one of those things that's kind of hard to hide from someone that you're in a relationship with. So I'm not sure, but I'd like to know that too, Auntie Robin. But you know,
Hmm.
Elise seems to take her parents' advice because her parents are actually telling her to calm down a little bit, take a couple of breaths, and you know, not overreact on the things that she's just now finding out about. But I feel as though this is just Elise's typical behavior on 90 Day Fiance, and I just have not been privy to that as of yet. So, you know,
I
it's
have.
starting to
Mm-hmm.
make me not really like Elise as much. And then we see for the
Mm-hmm.
preview or on the preview for the next episode that this is the blow up that we saw in in another preview where she's upset about like she's not letting this thing go of Joshua living with this other woman. And again, like with Elise being as gorgeous as she is, for her to be jealous of Joshua living with this woman looks like she's more closer to Joshua's age. So I, I, I'm going to be annoyed when I see the next episode. Dustin, what are your thoughts on Elise and Joshua? Do you think she has every right to feel the way that she feels about Joshua living with another woman?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I don't think that. I don't think I wouldn't want nobody. If I was with somebody, which if I was with somebody, and I wouldn't want nobody else living with me. If I was in a relationship, you know, uh, that's a little bit too much of a red flag for me.
Okay.
It's really too much because you know if you're trying to get closer to somebody, Jonathan, and you're trying to plan a future with somebody, how
Hmm.
are you supposed to plan a future if you don't feel comfortable being in the same place when you have somebody living with you? Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah, that could be a red flag. I would understand, especially with it being another woman. I
Huh?
get why she would have that thought in her brain, but at the same time, you're supposed to be in a relationship with this person, and you're supposed to be trusting this
Yeah,
person.
another thing I was gonna say, it's partly on him as well because he wasn't honest with her from the get go. To be honest, in my opinion,
That is very
Every,
true.
everybody could have their own opinion, but I'm just saying, in my opinion, he wasn't open and honest with her. But I try to be open and honest with everything as I go through, as Jonathan, as you know as well. So I don't understand why everybody tries to hide everything they go through because it's just gonna hurt you more in the long run than try to tell the truth. But that's
Uh,
just my opinion.
That's very true, Dustin. I will have to say though that hiding things from your partner seems to be a running theme on 90 Day Fiance. That's something that a majority of these couples do with their partners. But that doesn't make it right. But you
Yeah,
know, this is not the first time that someone has hidden something from their partner
yeah,
on this show. But I
yeah.
will say though that Joshua really definitely should have told Elise before. I understand why he didn't tell her so quickly though, because of the reaction that she had after finding out that he's living with another woman.
Hmm.
Auntie Robin says down in the comments, I thought drugs at first, but the big C can sneak up on you. Susan Taylor's daughter was funeralized last week. She was seemingly healthy and was diagnosed and passed with about 3 months. Wow, that is yeah. Cancer can sneak up on you as well. Hopefully it wasn't cancer, but you know I'm assuming we'll never find out. At least not from Elise. Auntie Robin also says Elise should be skeptical about Josh on the strength of him not divulging this living situation. What else is he hiding? That's very true. That's very true. I guess I'm giving Joshua a little bit too much of a pass, and maybe I'm trusting him a little bit too quickly.
Uh,
I just personally don't feel like he will be cheating on Elise, especially with his age. And as I stated during his first appearance, I didn't think he was the most attractive man in the world. So I wouldn't see
uh,
why he would find himself cheating on her. But I mean, any man could is capable of cheating. Has nothing to do with their appearance or how they look, but you know, I personally
mhm.
feel as though Josh is being faithful to Elise, but And I
I
feel
sure
as
hope
though the
so.
reason why he
I
didn't tell Elise he was living with another woman is because of the reaction that Elise gave him. But that
Well,
still wasn't a good idea.
let me finish with saying this on Jonathan.
Okay.
Uh, I I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they prove me wrong. But as they always say, go with your gut, Jonathan. My gut feels like my gut feels a different way right now, to be honest. But as they always say, I hope I'm wrong, but I would go with my gut. Hmm.
Yeah. Auntie Robin says here in the comments, and Josh hadn't met her in person. He had no idea that she was that insecure, jealous, or paranoid. Exactly. She's coming off extremely paranoid. And it is so annoying because, like, once again, like, I get why she's upset. And he really should not have waited to tell her that he was living with another woman. But I really do feel as though she's overreacting. And maybe it could be due to her previous issues and previous relationships, but you've got to give new people a chance. Auntie Robin also says, men are only as faithful as their options. Chris Rock. That is a very true statement, extremely true statement. But we'll see what happens with Elise and Joshua later on in the season. Let's move on to Lisa and Daniel. So Lisa and Daniel are traveling to meet up with Daniel's uncle to reveal to him the information that Lisa has just recently told to Daniel. And needless to say, Daniel's uncle is not happy about it. And Lisa starts hyperventilating. She starts not being able to breathe. She starts crying, or I should use quotation marks, crying. I've never believed a tear that came out of Lisa's eyes since she's got onto the show. But
So
Lisa's overreacting as usual. She says to Daniel while they're on their way to his uncle, "Do you think he's going to forgive us?" What does Daniel's uncle have to forgive Daniel for? Is you're the one who's doing everything that's wrong. You're the one
thank
who
you,
is keeping all
Jonathan.
these
That's what I was
secrets.
thinking. That's what I
Right,
was
like,
thinking. That's what I was thinking. What the heck does he do? Yeah, it's one that you did it yourself. So, I mean, he's gonna forgive is you. You know what I mean?
exactly. Like, it's you're the one who's on the hot seat, Lisa, not Daniel. So I'm not sure why it is that Lisa felt the need to make that statement. Auntie Robin says down here in the comments, Lisa and Daniel do not hold my attention at all. I
As you
am
can tell,
over
I'm a little
them.
heated tonight, so I apologize about
It's
that.
okay. It's okay, Dustin. You have every right to be heated. It is all right. I have every right to feel the way that you feel. But yeah, Lisa just gets on my nerves. She's just annoying to me. I don't necessarily dislike her per se, the way that I dislike Laura or Emma or Annalyn. She just does nothing for me. Lady
Mhm.
Virgo says down in the comments to Auntie Robin, you can say that again. Men ain't shit. Yeah, well, I mean, it is what it is. Um, but yeah, so you know, Daniel's uncle goes on to say, the blessing should be gone. I shouldn't forgive you. All this good stuff. Lisa proceeds to get onto her knees, and then Daniel's uncle is like, "I'm not God. I'm not God. I'm not the one that has to forgive you." But then he goes on to say, something about forgiving them. Like, that didn't make any sense to me whatsoever. And then Daniel begs his uncle to allow them to get married, and his uncle was like, "Do you really? Is it still in your intention to marry Lisa?" And Daniel says yes. The thing is, I was thinking that Daniel wanted Lisa to talk to his uncle so that he could have an out to get out of the relationship, but apparently Daniel still wants to be with Lisa, which makes me further believe that Daniel is only with Lisa in order to get a green card to live in America. That's my opinion. That's what I'm thinking, that Daniel is literally only with Lisa to get over to America. So then Daniel's uncle goes on to say, the only way that you guys can continue your relationship is if I take you to the high priest. And they do. And from the preview, it looked like they were trying to do some type of exorcism on Lisa. I didn't see Lisa necessarily in the frame on the preview. So I don't know exactly if they're doing that to her or how that whole thing's going to go down. We'll have to wait until we see it next week. But Dustin, what were your thoughts on the scene with Lisa, Daniel, and Daniel's uncle?
I could have done without seeing it that way,
Mm,
but that's just my opinion. I don't. This couple is one of them that The I hope the best, but I hope the best for Daniel, but I don't think it's gonna work out for Lisa. I don't think it's gonna work out. I think that he deserves better, and hope you find better, Daniel. But I think that Lisa's gonna have a rude awakening next episode. I don't think it's gonna work out.
Yeah. I have a feeling that Daniel's going to stick around as long as he possibly can, because I think that Daniel's intentions are to live in America, to get over to America, and to get a green card. And yeah, I don't think anything's going to stop him. Like, if with lesbianism and being gay is so against the tradition and culture in Nigeria, and that's not good enough reason for him to leave her, I don't see any reason for him to leave her. And I don't think he is going to leave her.
Right.
And Lisa's definitely not leaving Daniel for anything. So I think that they're going to still end up being together. Auntie Robin says
Um,
down here in the comments, Daniel want to be in the third installment of Coming to America. That's amazing, Auntie Robin. That is hilarious. Because I love Daniel's accent. Like, it's so cute to me. It really is so cute to me. But we'll see
mhm.
what happens with the high priest in the next episode. But let's
Okay.
move on to Beer Khan and Laura.
So
Laura has become one of my least favorites because I can't decide who I like least. Laura, Annalyn, or Emma. They're all on the same in the same boat to me as far as I'm concerned.
all of them for me.
But
I
Laura
don't.
is acting so aloof. Laura is acting so ignorant as to why Beer Khan is acting the way that he is acting, and I don't know why I'm sorry, Michael's approval of their relationship is so important to her. I don't understand that. And for her to continue to act as though she does not know that Michael wants to be with her romantically is driving me up a wall. Beer Khan is quite curt with Michael initially, and then he later on apologizes to Michael for his behavior. And Michael does accept that, and then Michael and Beer Khan go out together by themselves. And, Beer Khan wants to, well, actually, before we get to that, while they're out, Beer Khan asks Michael and Laura why they never fell in love, why they're not in a relationship together. Michael responds, I can't answer that question. And Laura does not say anything at all. And Beer Khan is like, I ask you a question and both of you are silent. There must be something going on. And that made me feel some type of way about Laura. Like, Laura, you've been doing grown woman shit all season long, but all of a sudden, when you're asked a poignant question by your man about your relationship with your friend, and you can't be open about that, but you're upset with Beer Khan for his gambling and his debt woes. Like, Laura, I don't like Laura whatsoever. Auntie Robin says down here in the comments, Beer Khan, now he is a character. He is a character. And what I mean by that is that he gives me the impression that he is uh re reacting from a script. You notice his cadence and tone. It doesn't sound authentic to me, Auntie Robin. I will have to agree with you on that. It doesn't sound like something he would say in his normal everyday life. But just as Laura said, it seemed like Beer Khan was putting on an act for Michael to kind of seem a little bit tougher than he really is. And I think that was a result of Michael being of Beer Khan being upset with the fact that Michael was actually there. Auntie Robin also says, also Beer Khan seems to be playing a tough guy character. Exactly. And that's what Laura said as well. And I saw that also, Auntie Robin. He wasn't being himself around Michael. And I think he was trying to intimidate Michael. Now, Michael is not easily intimidated because that all that tough guy talk did not affect Michael whatsoever. Michael ain't scared of nothing, it seems like. So Auntie Robin also says Laura is having a moment. I think that I think that she likes the idea of what appears to be two men fighting over her. I was just about to make that exact point, Auntie Robin. I think Laura gets something out of two men fighting over her. I think that makes her feels like a young, hot to trot, sexy, young woman. Like, oh, I got these two men fighting over me. I'm so special. I'm that girl. I'm that bit. Like, Laura, you're not that girl, and you've never been that girl. And I'm coming off me now. Ooh, let me step back a little bit, but I feel the exact same way, Auntie Robin. I was thinking that exact same thing while I was watching this episode. That Laura gets some type of thing out of two men fighting over her. Like she's just sitting back and watching it all go down. But the second that Birkan wants to have a private conversation with Michael and she's not included in the conversation, she then has an issue with it. Now, she didn't say that to Birkan, but she's nervous because she thinks that Michael is going to say something that she doesn't want him to say. So when Birkan and Michael are shooting pool, Beer Con is like, why don't you just admit that you love Laura? Why don't you just admit it? Just tell me straight up that you're in love with her. And Michael says, if I was in love with her and if I wanted to make a move, then Laura would not be with you. And then he goes on to say that Laura is actually the one that made a move on him. And I don't know if that's what Laura meant by she didn't want to reveal to Beer Con the entire her and Michael's entire situation, is the fact that she's the one that wanted to be with Michael. Auntie Robin also says down here in the comments, I blinked hard when I saw that shot of Beer Con and Michael's hair. Oh boy. Yeah, Michael is balding a little bit, up top. He doesn't have the most hair, and I have a feeling that Michael actually might look a little bit more attractive if he were bald. But who knows? I'm not sure if that would be the case. But now Birkan has this information that Laura is the one that approached Michael to be romantic with him, and I don't know what Laura's reaction is going to be to it, but I'm going to be smiling ear to ear now. Just as Daniel, I don't think that Beer Khan is actually romantically attracted to Laura and authentically wants to be with Laura in a meaningful, healthy relationship with her. I honestly think that Beer Khan just wants to get over to America, just as Daniel does, to have a better life. So, Dustin, what were your thoughts on Beer Khan's actions and words towards Michael? Do you think that he was trying to put up this tough guy act to kind of intimidate him? And what were your thoughts on their conversation at the pool hall?
I think it was kind of pushy, to be honest.
It was kind of what?
Kind of pushy and
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
pushing,
for
kind
sure.
of pushing these buttons. I think it's kind of. I'm not gonna say the word. I guess I'll say the word uncalled for. To be honest,
I agree. It was uncalled for.
if you can't be yourself when you're talking to somebody, you shouldn't be talking to somebody at all. Or you should just keep it to yourself. You know what I mean? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's just I'm the type of person that I'll say what's on my mind. And Jonathan, you know about that.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows that if I have something on to say, I'll say it. I don't like it when somebody tries to hide who they really are. And I think that there's some things that we're going to find out the next few weeks or the next whenever the tell all airs. And I think that not only I will be shocked to hear it, but that you and I will both be shocked to hear it. Because I think there's some things that I know about that you don't know about, Jonathan. And there's some of the things that I see that you don't see, which is that's okay. But we'll find out here pretty soon.
Do you think Laura's going to be upset with Michael for revealing to Beer Khan that she's the one that approached him to be romantic with him? Do you think she's going to be upset with Michael for doing that?
I think she might be.
Yeah. And I just wanted to see the look on her face when Beer Khan brings this information to her face to face. I'm so excited to see that because, as I've stated before, I do not like Laura at all. I think I
I
might
don't
like
either.
Laura less than I like Anna Lynn at this point.
I don't
But
like either one of them.
right, but to be honest, Anna Lynn, Laura, and Emma are all on the same level
Boat.
as far as I'm
Mm-hmm.
concerned.
We're all on the same boat. Mm-hmm. You know.
Speaking of Emma, this was my favorite part of the episode. So Emma says to us as the viewers that Mohammed told her to meet him for an outing so that they can discuss things. And Emma has this ring, this engagement ring that Muhammad bought for her. Uh, while they were in a relationship. And she kept it after they broke up. And she said that he broke up with her. But I thought that Emma said earlier in the season that she broke up with Muhammad because he was talking to other women online. But maybe I was wrong. Maybe she didn't say that that was the reason why they broke up. She just stated that as a fact of their relationship. But, anyways, and so Emma gets to the restaurant, she
Hmm.
sits down, and there's this
I don't.
older
I didn't. I heard about that part, but I didn't really catch that part. So I don't know. Hmm.
yeah, Emma's sitting down at the restaurant. Her waiter comes over, and to be honest, when I first saw the waiter, I thought that was Muhammad. I was about to get happy because I'm hoping that Muhammad is less attractive.
But my point that I was going to make that I think that I was kind of shocked to hear, um, was when she said, when he said, "I have a fiance and I don't want nothing to do with you." Why would you have her go all the way over there if you already had a fiance? Red flag to me.
That's very true. So you got a little bit ahead of me, Dustin. But
Sorry
Emma
about that,
was
Jonathan. Sorry about
it's
that.
okay. It's totally fine. But yeah. So Emma's waiting. And she had sent him two text messages telling her that she was at the restaurant and she got a table for both of them. And then she decides to call Muhammad. Muhammad doesn't pick up the phone, and then she gets a text from Muhammad saying, just as Dustin just let us know, that he has a fiance, that he doesn't want anything to do with her, he doesn't want to see her anymore, whatever the case might be. Auntie Robin says down in the comments, Emma is 100% Delulu. She is extremely Delulu, Auntie Robin, for sure.
Hmm.
And that leads me to believe, Dustin, like I told you before we went live, that I
Yeah.
have a feeling that it wasn't Muhammad that Emma was talking to in the confessionals a couple of episodes ago when she allegedly was talking to Muhammad, and they initially set up this meeting between them. I have a feeling that she just put Muhammad's name on a random number and told that number to call her while she was at the confessional, because I thought it is not just a coincidence that Muhammad calls you out of the blue as soon as you're about to start taping your confessional to set up a meeting with you. Like that didn't make any
That's a red
sense to me
flag.
whatsoever. And so I don't believe that Emma was talking to Muhammad. I don't know if that was Muhammad that told her that that he was engaged, that he didn't want anything to do with her. I have a feeling that she probably has not been in contact with Muhammad since they broke up, or is there's also a possibility that Muhammad does not exist at all. But who knows? I'm not sure. Auntie Robin says down in the comments, Emma went to Morocco with the let's see here. I'm sorry. Let me get another photo. There we go. Auntie Robin says down in the comments, and Emma went to Morocco with the ring that Muhammad gave her. He was definitely her plan B for sure, Auntie Robin. I was giddy to see he stood her up. Auntie Robin, you have no idea how ecstatic I was, excuse me. And as time kept going on, as Emma was continuing to wait and wait and wait for Muhammad to show up, and they started playing that kind of cringy music, like things aren't going to go the way that were expecting it to go, I knew that Muhammad was not going to show up. So, Dustin, what was your reaction to Muhammad not showing up and to him telling Emma that he was engaged and he didn't want to see her again?
That's a red flag to me, Jonathan. That whole situation is a red flag. Um, why did you even have her go all the way over there? If you told her to, you wanted to meet her, and then your whole plan was to have her go all the way over there, and then you didn't even meet her. That's a bunch of bullshit, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that further leads me to believe that, I don't know if Muhammad really exists. Like, well,
I don't think he
she
does.
did have
I
pictures
don't
with
think.
someone that they were showing and they covered his face. And so
Mm.
I guess there's a possibility that he did exist. But Emma was complaining. She was saying F Muhammad, F Ziad. I came all the way over here for nothing. Emma, we don't feel sorry for you whatsoever. We saw how you treated Ziad. We saw how you talk shit about Muhammad. And, when you can flip that quickly on someone that you were supposedly in love with, that tells me that you didn't care for them to begin with. Auntie Robin says down here in the comments, Emma acted surprised that apparently none of these men think as highly of her as she thinks of herself. Exactly. Auntie Robin also says down there in the comments, then there's that wig that has annoyed me since day one. Yeah, that wig, like, I've been thinking that was a wig that she was wearing because it looks so perfect on her head and it's not styled whatsoever. It's yeah, I don't like the wig either, Auntie Robin. Auntie Robin also says, I'm surprised that she said that he rejected her so suddenly, especially since she believes herself to be such a catch. Exactly. Emma thinks that she's God's gift to all men, and I'm so glad that she got this reality check. And with Muhammad not being in the picture, I do hope Ziad comes to the tell-all. I just hope that
I
the
don't think he's
women.
gonna show up.
I doubt that he will show up, Dustin. I really do. But I hope that Ziad is able to say his piece in front of everyone. And I hope that if Ziad does show up to the tell-all, I just hope that all the women on the panel don't come after him as they typically do with the men on the show. Auntie Robin also says down in the comments, wait, let's cut to the chase. Emma wanted to be on TV and got her 15 minutes of fame. Exactly. I don't think Emma really cared about Ziad. She probably didn't care about Muhammad either. Maybe Muhammad was originally supposed to be on 90 Day Fiance with her, and then when they broke up, or when they weren't on good terms, she ended up finding Ziad on the same website, and then Ziad ended up being the one that she came on 90 Day Fiance with. So I we'll see we'll see what happens, but she definitely got her 15 minutes, and now her 15 minutes are over. Now it would not surprise me if she attempted to get back onto the show. With maybe another Moroccan man, for that matter. But we'll see what happens on the next
I could see her
episode.
on a single life.
She could be. But she said she had one more thing to do before she left Morocco. I'm not sure what that thing is going to be. I don't know, but we'll see what happens on the next episode. Dustin, before we get out of here, why don't you share with the good people your social media contacts real quick?
My social media contact is Dustin Butler 700, and my Instagram is Dustin Butler 7. My Facebook is Dustin Butler. Thank you, Jonathan, for always being here. This been a interesting one tonight. Thank you for being here and trying to get through it all tonight. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Dustin. You guys can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is JoJo_speaks3020. My Facebook is Jonathan Lee. My email is WilliamJonathanLee@gmail.com. My Cash App is $Jonathan Lee 07. That's $JONATHANLEE 07. Thank you guys once again for joining us for this review. Be sure to join me on Thursday night at 8 p.m. for my live Hot Topics and Social Commentary show. I go live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. with my sister Prophetic Fire Reiki, as well as our friend Bianca Edwards. We always have a great time talking about the latest happenings and goings on in the world. So once again, join us on Thursday night at 8 p.m. We got 2 more comments to get to before we get out of here. Lady Virgo says down in the comments, wow, this hour went by so fast. It did, and it always does. And I can never understand how it is that we end up on here for 47 minutes. But it is what it is. Auntie Robin says down here in the comments, see y'all later. See you later too, Auntie Robin. Jennifer, I do believe she's going live at 8 p.m. I'm not exactly sure. She hasn't said she's not going live, so I'm just going to assume.
Is she still in Colombia?
No. They got back. They left Colombia last night.
Okay.
So she should be back in Atlanta. And Auntie Robin says down in the comments, yes, it did, Lady Virgo. It did. The time always goes by fast, which shocks me that we've been on here for 49 minutes. But hey, we're getting out of your hair now. Love you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on next one. Hopefully, I'll see you guys on Thursday. Thank y'all so much for being here. Love you guys.
See you on Thursday. See you next week.